Hello, good afternoon. How are you all on this rainy, cloudy, damp afternoon? I'm hearing that we're setting up to get some pretty nasty weather coming around if you're in Cincinnati or the Cincinnati area like I am. But my name is Gina Burnett, and you are tuning in to my Wednesday makeup workshop, okay? And so we are going to tackle a few things today, and the thing that we are going to focus on is Plain Jane. Who has ever heard of Plain Jane? I remember being back in school, and there was always that one girl that would always be referred to as Plain Jane, as if it was a very negative thing. But I'm going to show you Plain Jane's makeup, and we're going to change that perception of Plain Jane. And what I mean by that is I hear a lot of women who say they're not really into bright colors or bold colors with their makeup. They just like to keep it kind of plain and be like Plain Jane. Cool. Totally for that. And I'm going to show you how you can take some Plain Jane colors and turn it into this beautiful, simple makeup look. So let's get started, okay? First thing I'm going to do is what I always do, and that is to apply my face primer and my eye primer. If you don't use primer, you should. Face primer is going to keep your foundation and powders and blushes all in place. We have a very good one. It's this one right here, the Moodstruck Touch Glorious Primer. Just need a tiny little bit. You just rub that in on your face, quick as can be. The second product, we're going to do the same thing, but this is an eye primer. And I am just going to use a little dab on my finger here. You don't need very much. Just a tiny little bit. And I'm going to split this between both of my eyelids. So I'm just going to mat it together on my ring fingers and put that on. And I always start with this because you want to let this primer have a minute to set in. So I'm going to do that. One of the things I learned is I've gotten more and more and more into makeup. I never used primers before and then wondered why I had to keep applying all day long. And now I know just use a primer and you don't have to do that. So it really cuts down on the time you're spending and the product you're using as well. So once I get that on, I am going to go ahead and start in on my Plain Jane eye look. And the first step that I'm going to do in my eye look is I am going to apply some of this Prim eyeliner. It's actually a pencil eyeliner, but I like to use it for my brows. It's a very light color, but I can also use it as the eyeliner, or I can also use it as a lip liner. I've even used it that way before too. So I'm just going to, I have really pretty big eyebrows still, but I just need to fill in just a little bit the tails of my eyebrows. So to get it to all match, I just kind of fill in the whole brow a little bit. And then down here at the bottom, I just fill in a little bit heavier to make that tail. And I do the same thing to the other side. I just kind of fill in. I still have a great guide to use for my eyebrows. But ladies, if you're a little bit older and your eyebrows are getting sparse, you definitely want to use something on your eyebrows. If your eyebrows are totally gone, I even have a stencil that you can use. You can literally hold the stencil up to your face and color in. Eyebrows are so, so important. And you don't necessarily notice people's eyebrows when they have them, but you notice when they don't. That's what I have learned. When they don't have eyebrows, they look really different compared to when they do have their brows on. So when I'm in a hurry or I'm just wanting to keep things simple, I just use this Prim. This is the color Prim. Matches my skin tone just perfectly. And like I said, I can also then, this is technically an eyeliner, so I can use it in that fashion. And I've also used it to line my lips for a neutral color. So one product, and you can use it multiple ways, which is what I love. I love to have products that I can use lots of different ways. So it's simple enough, okay? So the next thing I really want to focus on are these pressed powder quad eyeshadows. And what these are is these little, you pick whatever colors you want to go in your palette, or you can also buy a single color and it comes in this small little palette. I'm going to use a combination of both of these today for the look that I'm trying to get. But what's cool about these is they have these little dots on the back. And all of these colors are actually a magnetic little, let me see if I can pop one out. I don't know if I have anything here quick that'll let me pop one of these out. It's just a little magnetic, maybe this pen will. It's just a little magnetic pod. Yep, I think this will work. So, maybe it'll work. Maybe. Yep, got it. Okay, so I just pushed the back of a pen through the back of here. And so here's your the eyeshadow. So it now looks like this. And so you can pop any color that you want to back in here, and it's just magnetic. You just put it in and then it's in and it stays. So you can put any colors that you want in here, which is really nice, because the best feature about these, I think, is that have you ever bought a palette that you love, but you tend to use one or two colors out of it way more than other colors, and then when those colors are gone, you're sitting there looking at your palette like, I really needed those colors to make this look that I'm digging, and without those colors, it's not going to work. So now what do I do with the rest of this palette? That's not a problem with these, because let's pretend you run out of the lightest color, but you still have a lot of these left, and you still like that look. That's all you have to do is buy the single to replace it, and just pop the old one out and pop the new one in. So it makes it very versatile. So for our plain Jane, poor Jane look, we are going to start with this color here on the end. Let me turn that around for you. Right here, called Astute. And this is kind of like a very light camel-y color. So I'm going to go in with my blending brush. I love to use a blending brush in my crease. And then you tap that off, because you don't want a bunch of fallout or a bunch of color falling onto your cheeks. And I'm just going to gently go into my crease and a little bit above and start blending this color in. They go on super, super easy. And I'm kind of going to do a little straight line technique here. I want to bring this color straight out. And you can just use your blending brush to achieve that. So I want to blend this out a little bit. And this is called my transition color. So I'm transitioning from lighter to darker colors by using this medium tone. I'm going to do the same thing on my other eye. I'm just going to dip in, tap off a little bit, start on the outside and go in. And just apply this color there to the middle of my eye. I'm not putting this on my lid, and I'm not putting this all the way up to my brow. I'm just putting it in that middle space between those two places. If you're just tuning in, again, my name is Gina Burnett, and you are tuning in to my Wednesday workshop, where I'm teaching a plain Jane makeup look. But I want to show you that being plain Jane is totally cool. If you're not somebody who likes a lot of bright colors and you like to keep it a little bit more subdued, that is totally cool. And you can just be a beautiful plain Jane. Okay, so there's that on the middle for my transition color. The next color I'm going to use is I'm going to go and use this color here called Discreet. And this is just an even lighter beige color. I'm going to use my deluxe brush with it, and I'm going to really kind of pack that on there. Okay? And what I'm going to do now is I am just going to dab that color on my lid. I'm not going to smear that, because as we get a little bit older, we have some crepiness on our eyelids, and I'm not wanting to fill all my wrinkle lines and crepiness. Anybody else have that problem? Or am I all alone in the crepiness? I hate that, but it's a fact of life. It's there. So, the older I get, pat and dab are my friends. I pat and dab eye makeup on. So that's what we've got so far. I'm going to do the same thing to my other eye. Using these very plain, quote-unquote, Jane colors. Very neutral. You could wear these kind of colors or this kind of palette every single day and be gorgeous. If you're still one of them gals who is a little bit nervous about color, that's okay. But well, you know what I have found? Owning this business, I've become more and more confident with color. And you know what? It's just makeup. So if you put it on and you don't like it, I encourage you wear it anyway for the day. A lot of times it'll grow on you, and before you know it, you'll get used to wearing those different colors, and then when you apply things that aren't quite as bold, you feel a little bit almost plain Jane. No, I'm just kidding. This is a beautiful look, and I wear stuff like this all the time, especially, you know, to work or church, when you're just wanting to look like you've put on makeup, but you're not wanting to necessarily look made up, if that makes sense. Alright, so once I've got that all pressed in where I want it to go, now don't worry, I'm going to blend all this at the end, so if you're thinking, why isn't she blending any of this and this is all looking kind of crazy, don't worry, we're going to get there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my angled brush here because I love this little angle. Can you see that? It has a sponge on this end and then it has this angle on the other, and I love that for doing my corners. So I'm going to go in with this color called Nonsensical, and it's kind of like, it's a chocolatey brown is what it reminds me of, and I'm going to dip this in here, tap off again, and I'm just going to put this out in the corner of my eye. I just want this to go right here and kind of make a little line right there. Okay? I'm going to turn my brush and go the opposite direction and just go a little bit with what's left on my brush into that crease. So can you see that? I kind of just made an inverted V there. This angled brush makes it so easy to do that. I'm going to get a little bit more color, tap off, do the same thing on my other eye. I'm going to start first by tapping in that line, that little diagonal line there of color, and then I'm going to turn my brush and go into my crease with what's left on the brush. When I'm done, we'll blend all this out and kind of smoke the sides of that a little bit, and you'll see how pretty that'll turn out. Okay, which is about the point that we're at. So I'm going to go back in with my blending brush, and I'm going to start blending. Blending, 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 blending. You can never blend too much. There's no such thing. Blend as much as possible, because we want there to be a noticeable difference between colors, but we don't want it to be a stark line. We want it to kind of gradually just go from color to color is the most complementary look. Okay, so once I get that blended, I'm going to do the other side the same way. These blending brushes are awesome. I love our makeup brushes. I highly encourage you to add those in if you're interested in trying any of these things. The makeup brushes are totally awesome, and I don't care what anybody says, your brushes do make a total difference in your end game look. It just really does. Okay, the last thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this discreet color, and I'm going to take one of my brushes and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this right on my brow bone, just to kind of pull that eyebrow bone out a little bit. That's just going to be my highlight. You don't want to go too heavy with that, but you do want to highlight that brow bone. Okay, so there is my plain Jane look. What do you guys think? Any thumbs up? So these quads are just amazing. And like I said, what I love about them is you can switch out these colors. We have about 25, 26 colors. We have them in shade, in mattes, shimmers, satins, even a couple metallics, which makes it really awesome. If you're have hooded eyes and are older, I try to stay away from too much of the shimmer, but I do like a satin. So these offer all those different options. And now I'm just going to put a little bit of black eyeliner on my bottom. And I'm going to put some black eyeliner right here in my waterline on the top. I very rarely actually put this on my eyelid. It gives me plenty of definition if you look at the two eyes, just putting it in my waterline. And then I don't have to give up any of the very little space I have on my actual eyelid. I'm not wanting to make my eyelid really dark because I don't have much lid. When I look at you straight on, my lid totally disappears. So I need to keep this part, that lid, a really light color so it'll pop out and stand out. I don't want that to blend in. Okay, so as you can see, this look is totally, you can call it plain Jane if you want, but you can see this look coming together and how different it is making my appearance. So even if you're not into really, blues or mauves or really bright colors, you can still certainly wear a beautiful palette that looks very neutral and still not be really crazy. Now, as you know, anybody who's been watching me for any amount of time, you know that I'm going to finish this off with my Epic Mascara, without a doubt, every single time. My Epic Mascara is my do or die. I never leave home without it, literally. I wear it every single day. It is the perfect mascara for everyday wear. Gives so much length, so much volume, very easy to apply. Look at that. Who thinks that that's fabulous? Look at the two different eyes. I don't know any other mascara that does that quickly. Literally like doubles the length of your lashes in one easy application. Whenever people order from me, I always try to really highly encourage that they include a mascara with their order. Even if you don't usually wear other makeup, get a mascara. You will love it. It'll totally change your whole appearance. Makes you look so much more awake, bright, ready to face the world, approachable. Mascara is the bomb. And this Epic Mascara, like I said, fabulous. What do you guys think? Pretty? Nobody's talking to me and I'm feeling sad. I like to have a conversation when I'm doing this. Amanda, are you here? Do I see you, Amanda? Say hello if you are here. Alright, so there is my eye look. The next thing I'm going to show you guys real quickly is our foundation. And what I have been liking to do right now is, this time of year, I love our BB cream. In the wintertime, I need a little extra moisturization. So I use, this is in Bisque. This is the color Bisque. And I take our foundation brush and I just put a little dab right there in the middle. And then this is the Mineral Liquid Foundation, thebomb.com. Liquid Gold, Photoshop in a bottle. We have lots of little nicknames for it. You're just going to shake it up really well. And put whatever was in the dropper back in the bottle and shake it up again. I'm in the color Velour. If you're not sure which color you would like, just shoot me a message. I can color match you in seconds. This stuff is fabulous. And you'll see when I put it on, look at my skin tone now, get a good look at it. Look at this redness and stuff right in here, unevenness. And then watch after I put this on. I'm just going to dab this all over my face. And then I start blending this in. Being very careful around my eyes since I already did my eye makeup. Being careful around my eyebrows since I did them. Sometimes it's nice to put your liquid foundation on after you've done your eyes though. So that way if you have dropped anything, gotten any colors down on your face, any fallout at all, this will just clean that up for you. And I just like to keep doing this for a few minutes to keep buffing that in. But can you guys see the difference? How I went from that real ruddy complexion to now being like totally just flawless finish. Now this goes on as a liquid, dries down to a powder, which is perfect because it feels light. It doesn't feel heavy. You always want to kind of drag that down on your neck though. Make sure it's blended in well. You don't want to have a big line going across your face. Okay, so there's the foundation. If you're watching, please drop me a line and say hello. Again, I'm Gina Burnett, and you are tuning in to my Wednesday makeup workshop, where we are doing a plain Jane look, and I am teaching how even if you like plain neutral colors, you can still get a stunning finish and not have to worry about using lots of dark colors if you are not hip to that. A lot of people I know aren't, so you don't have to, but you can still get a stunning makeup look even with plain Jane colors. So the next thing I'm going to go for is my bronzer. Does anybody here watching ever use bronzer? Bronzer is awesome, especially this time of year. People tend to think that bronzer is for the summer. Well, kind of, because you look bronzed in the summer, but during the winter, you turn white and pale. So the bronzer is awesome to just give you that really soft, sun-kissed look. This is our Beachfront Bronzer. It does not leave you orangey. It does not leave you looking cakey. It's a little bit of shimmer inside. There's 2 different tones. This is the Sunset Bronzer. The bronzers come in 3 different shades. So it's Sunset. The next darker one I think is called Hermosa. And forgive me, I can't remember what the third darkest one is called. But what I like to do with this is you kind of just make a 3 on your face. So you start here, come down the sides, go in here as if it was going to be like blush, like this, and then you want to finish up and go down along your jawline. And this is just going to warm up your face, especially in these winter months. Just gives you a soft glow and warms your face. Can you guys see the difference between the 2 sides? How this side just looks warmer, a little bit more defined. When you do this on the cheek, the darker, it also gives the illusion of higher cheekbones. So that's always a plus. It makes your face look a little bit thinner and defines. So if you wanted to, you could leave this just like this. If you just like that bronzed look, you could just do that and be done. I like a little pink on my face, so I'm actually going to add a little bit of blush. This is the blush I'm using today, is the color Sweet. This is the color that I recommend for most people as a first attempt for a blush color. So if you've never worn any of our blush before, no matter what your skin tone is, I would recommend the Sweet. It is very neutral. It is buildable. So if you need it darker, you can always go darker with it. But it complements any skin tone from the palest pale to the darkest dark. Will really look nice on you. So I like to just press on a little bit of blush. And there you have it. There is a beautiful, plain Jane, neutral face of makeup. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to exfoliate my lips. This is a sugar scrub that we have. This is a peppermint one that was only available during the holidays, but you can go to my website and we still sell the lip exfoliator. Has shea butter and sugar in it, and it is just going to take off any of those yucky dry patches that we get on our lips, and then our lipstick clings to it. So I like to do that. Get them real good and exfoliated. And then what I'm going to do is, since I do have a plainer eye look today, a more neutral look, I'm going to go for a little bit bolder lip, and I'm going to use our Opulence lipstick. This shade is called, what is this? This is called Loaded. This is called Loaded. Now keep an eye out, because I'm getting ready to order our kudos for this month that are the powder to cream lipsticks, and they have a bang of color. I am so excited about getting these. So those are going to add a really beautiful pop of color. I can't wait for them to get them. All the videos that I've seen people doing, everybody is saying that these things are fabulous. They've never used a product like this before. It is a powder, and literally when it hits your lip, it immediately turns into a cream. And everybody just says it's like the most amazing feeling, very silky. So I can't wait to get those and try them. But for tonight, I don't have them yet. So I'm going to use this beautiful, can you see that color? It's like a wine color. It's a little bit deeper, not real pastel-y or pink. Just since I have such a neutral eye. Okay? I'm sorry there's no easy or beautiful way to apply lipstick. That's one thing I've kind of learned from doing so much makeup and watching other people do their makeup and getting tips from other people. Is I really like, when I'm doing more of a neutral color eye, to put the color on my lips, and vice versa. If I was doing a really bold purple or a pink eye or a blue, then I probably would go paler on my lips, so that the attention is focused one place or the other. So here's just a finished look for today that I think is totally appropriate for a day look. I could definitely bump this up to a night look, go much darker and heavier on the eyes, do more with eyeliner, really bring those out, and instead of being a plain Jane, turn myself into Party Jane for an evening out, or out to dinner Jane. But today, I just wanted to do a plain Jane look and show you ladies that if you tend to be a plain Jane can be beautiful. Jane can be gorgeous. So if you are interested in any of my products, I would love to help you reach your full potential and be the beautiful you that you are. I would love to help you pick out colors. My website is www.shinewithginab.com. I'll post it on here after the video. But you are more than welcome. I invite you to check out my website, give it a look. If you have any questions about colors, application, any of that stuff. I'm so happy to help you, and I would love to work with you to create a beautiful makeup look for yourself. I hope you guys have a fabulous Wednesday, made it through hump day successfully, and are ready to kick back and maybe enjoy some time with your family this evening. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you all soon. Take care.